Hey, what's up guys, it's Shawzo here and welcome to Graygarden, a farm run entirely by robots. I would say this was in my top 5 places to build in the Commonwealth, for good reason because you can actually build on the highway next to the greenhouse, which is pretty cool. I've turned it into a hideout. So in this video I'm going to be showing you how I built up the whole place and I'm going to give you a nice finished tour at the end. Enjoy. Now I'm not going to be doing anything with the existing greenhouse because I don't want to block any sunlight. But there is a patch of farmland right next to it and I want to build a brand new greenhouse right next to it, but keeping to that scrappy look. So let's dive straight in. So of course I'm going to be using these big warehouse walls with the glass windows, mixing it up as usual, keeping some broken, some fixed, because the other one is pretty much the same. And placing it down like this, of course it's going to be wonky to start with and I want it very much central with the other greenhouse. And laying down walls like this is always going to leave gaps underneath because 10 times out of 10 you're always going to be building on uneven ground. And there is one simple fix to all these problems, and that is our trusty pillar. And I've simply put it right up against it, held down A, and we're now going to drag the whole thing to the left. And I'm going to sink it right into the ground just to hide that wall bit. Of course it took me a few tries to get it in the exact position that I wanted, but now it's very much central with the other greenhouse and all the plants are very much within it. All the gaps have been filled in, but you can see that part of the wall on this side because it does drop down a bit. So now it's time to snap on some rooftops. Again, mixing it up, a couple of broken, couple of fixed. And we're simply going to go over with the flat rooftops. And finishing it off, I've put these pitched ones, and as you can see it's completely level with the other greenhouse. Same height, same position, it's just perfect. I will be opening up some entrances a bit later, but yeah, I just love how it looks. It flows so well with the other greenhouse here. So now it's time to move on to these existing fences that go all the way around this place. And there's also this area with this old machinery, and I'm definitely going to incorporate that with my settlement. And talking about the fencing again, you can clearly see there's some evidence of fencing going all the way around as it corners itself off here. So what I'm going to do is reinforce some fences that are still standing, of course using different types of walls. But I'm not going to scrap them because it does actually add some character to the walls that you place down and just helps with the overall decoration. Also, I'm quite lucky that I can sink a pillar into the existing foundations because, yeah, it doesn't happen all the time. I'm going to leave this gap open for an entrance, by the way. So moving on to where the machinery area is, I'm now going to start walling this off. I'm going to delete these fences because they are going to get in the way. So I'm going to be using these 2 massive warehouse walls. I'm just going to put it on the edge as far as I can on the corner on the right side. It is a little bit of a tricky one, but it needs to go in at a slight angle. It won't go in dead straight. But overall the angle doesn't look noticeable, so yeah, that's fine. So now that's gone in, it's time to fill in the gap next to it, and I'm simply just going to use a scrappy half wall along with a different half wall to that as well. And for the back I'm going to be using 3 warehouse walls, and again 2 of them on the side. It's definitely important to keep it straight as possible because this will allow you to put some floors on top, and of course you can use that foundation as a gauge. And I'm just going to put another half wall to the side here just to give it that enclosed look. I think it works pretty well. Now I've purposely kept it all open to the outside because it is a workshop area and it's right next to the greenhouse, so it only makes sense. Having a look at the back, there's not much going on. Of course that will change with decorations, and on top I do have plans and you will see what I do with that in a moment. But now it's time to finish the rest of the fences, and of course I'm going to reinforce the ones that are there, and I'm going to freestyle the rest of them using the corner as a marker point. I've gone ahead and finished off the defensive walls, and this gives you an idea of what it would look like pre-war because this is where the existing fence would have gone all the way around. I kept the right side slightly higher because of that hill coming down, and I've used the ball tracking items just to give it that reinforced look. They're very good for jobs like that. I'm going to start opening up some entrances now because this patch of land here is where it's mostly going to be busy, so I thought it only makes sense to put an entrance right next to it. So I'm going to completely open this section here, and then I'm going to get some half wall frames as that goes really well within it. Now we're going to come around here and open this up completely. I'm going to leave that how it is. Now this existing greenhouse needs some new doors, so I'm going to be using the pillar to put it in. I wouldn't use the rug for this because of course there's a foundation kind of sticking up from the bottom there. So yeah, I'm just going to finish that off. And the reason why I've put the entrance here is because it's right next to this cool little campfire. And it's got some pre-existing items such as crates, barrels, pallets. It's just perfect really. I've also added some stuff behind the greenhouse just to give it more of a reinforced look because this side is not really going to be used that much and it's good for the fences. Hold your horses, I'm not finished yet. I'm going to start building on top of this highway next to it, and yes, you can build up there. So let's go ahead and explore it and see what we can do. So I have a few ideas. I'm definitely going to turn it into like a cool little hideout. But first, there's one important thing that we need to do, and that's to find a realistic way of getting up there. And I've been saving this rooftop for this exact reason. So I'm simply going to put a platform across here along with the pillar, put ourselves up a set of stairs, and I'm going to grab myself some scaffolding stuff using this specific frame. And I found the best way of starting this all off is putting this frame in this particular position on this floor in here. And I'm going to start building up now. So we'll put a floor piece in there along with a big set of stairs. And we'll put another set of stairs pointing up to the highway. And add in some floors. It should go right up tight against the concrete here. Of course, it's going to take a few tries to get that scaffolding in the right position. But as you can see, it's right up against it without any gaps. Looks quite realistic. But it needs some more stuff. So I'm going to add some barricades here and there. And luckily, I can wrap it around there quite nicely. There's not many restrictions regarding that. And I'm going to add some barricades on the middle floor here, and I'm also going to add some more down to the platform, but unfortunately I can't snap them onto this flooring, so I'm going to have to freestyle all of it. As long as there's no gaps, I'm pretty much happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that off, and there we go. We've now got a realistic way of getting up to the highway. I like the fact that it's not too much, it's just a simple way of getting up there, and I've even added a ladder just to get up there a bit better, and a couple of wires just to give the stairs a reinforced look. With that part finished, it's time to move on now, and we have plenty of space to build up here. And what I'm going to be doing with this place is turning it into a hideout, because I do want settlers moving in and I want a place for them to live. The robots can just work 24/7. So I'm going to be warding off within the frames of the bridge, and luckily you can actually sink a pillar onto this highway, and that just opens endless opportunities to what you can do up here. So I'm simply just going to get myself a wall and just fill up as much space as I can with each section, keeping it within the frame. As you can see, I'm covering as much space as possible, and I'm going to be repeating this with different walls until the entire area is completely covered. So let's have a look at the progress so far. And yeah, I really like how that looks. I've had to stop it right there because that's where the out of bounds starts, unfortunately. But yeah, we can work around that. And because the out of bounds starts there, I'm going to be filling this entire area with walls, then carrying it on to the other side. So it's just the same thing again, you just don't really have the frames as a marker point, and I had to build around the car unfortunately. But overall I think it looks pretty cool, nice and scrappy. I've made it as high as possible so there's no gaps. I'm not going to bore you too much with the rest of it, I'm going to go ahead and just finish that off for you guys. And there we go, I do like adding the walls with the blue paint because it definitely adds some colour here and there. And I've also enclosed it in this area as well. You can't scrap the bus, so I've had to build around it. But using the corner walls, it works perfectly actually. And we've got the entrance on the left there. And having a look on the inside, there's endless opportunities in here. I could do so much with this space. So I can't wait to show you what I've done with the decorations. Regarding the top of it, it's not actually a security risk because on the other side of the highway, it's actually broken off. But I will be doing something with it. You'll find out what I do in the tour. That's the build finished now. I'm now going to spend endless hours decorating the place. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the tour. And after 20 plus hours, it is finally finished. I'm very happy with this. Of course, there's loads of little details. I've definitely put some extra time into this one. So yeah, the tour's going to be a little bit longer than usual, but I do want to show you everything. So yeah, let's go and have a little walk around. Hey, what's up guys? So the first thing I'm going to show you is the campfire. Now, I don't use any mods for my decorations. No mods whatsoever. Like even the items that you see, like, just chuck it on the floor. And I know a lot of you want to see me decorate, but I just feel like that would be such a long video because it does take a lot of time. I might do a live stream in the future, I'm not sure yet, but yeah, it's a long process, longer than the actual building to be fair. So I've pillar glitched the mattress onto these pallets here, just put a couple of benches. It's mostly items I've dropped in this area because you mostly have pre-existing boxes and things like that. Managed to pillar glitch a chair onto this crate actually. You can actually sit down on it as well. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've kept the car, just put some junk in there as well. I've also put some lights on it and it looks so cool at night. It kind of lights up the entire entrance, and yeah, I will give you some night shots later on. And I've kind of, I've covered the entirety of the outside walls. I might do a walk around at the end, I'm not sure yet. But I'll show you this side actually. I put a few bits and pieces because I didn't really like to leave it too empty. I even put a turret as well. There's actually a turret on all areas around the walls. But it's just pretty much stuff like this on the outside. I just like putting some like boxes, crates here and there just to blend it in with the rest of the wasteland. As you can see over there. little ice box. Nothing important, just a few bits and pieces. Yeah, as I said, there's turrets everywhere, so defense is really good. So moving on to the actual inside. So you can go in two ways. I've left the gap open here. That's where most people come in. So welcome to Graygarden. All people are welcome. All robots, obviously. And we've got a little greenhouse with loads of nut fruit. And yeah, let's have a look inside. I don't have a lot of settlers, only a few. It's building up. But yeah, this is more of a communal area / workstation. So we've got a little table here. I've kept all the junk because I know it's messy, but I do like to add to it. And it's an apocalyptic world, so not everyone's kind of cleanliness is going to be like top notch, is it? I've done the same again with this box with the chair. That's just my thing now. I love doing that. I sunk some plants into the dirt just to give it some life, you know. Made a little shop area, but this time I've covered like the entirety of it, even the shelves behind, because I just couldn't be asked to fill that shelf, to be honest. I won't lie to you. But yeah, it's a fruit shop. All we sell is fruit because that's what we grow, obviously. I would have preferred to have a robot on the shop, but for some reason they won't go on the shop, so I've just had to use some settlers. Down here, I haven't really made use of this area, so I've just made it like a dumping ground. I just put loads of random bits and pieces, really. Because it's a dead end anyway, because I wanted to keep that tree. I do like keeping trees around settlements in general, as long as they're not like too in the way. This corner, nothing much, just some containers, scavengers workbench as well. We've got a turret looking out on the entrance. The workshop area, didn't really need to do a lot. I did a few bits, mainly just items I've put on the floor and here and there. Yeah, just little differences, but I didn't really need to do much in here. And there's like little scrap items in the cardboard boxes that you can't pick up, but they are like, you can move them if you shoot them, but yeah, I didn't want to move them too much. Around here, more of a functional area. Just put some bits and pieces. Trying to keep everything different. Got a little toilet there. Some more fruit. And yeah, it's a dead end here with the tree. I kind of like the fact that the tree's made a dead end on like each side because it makes its own like area. So I've turned this area into like a little weapons place to like, work on your weapons and that. We might as well show you this. This area in itself is quite enclosed because it's a dead end on both sides with the tree. So I've made this like into like a robotic kind of workshop area, whereas the other one was for settlers. Yeah, it's a pretty cute little area. This is where the generator is as well. I've sunk it into the ground, and of course I've used the pillar glitch to spread out all the power pylons throughout the entire settlement. Yeah, one of my favourite places of the build. Now, I haven't done actually I have done a lot in here. You don't have to do a lot because there's already stuff in here, but loads of little details. I'm sure you can probably spot a few already. Like I've pillar glitched these plants into like the empty crates because it annoyed me that they were empty, so I've kind of put my own plant in there. And even these plant pots, I've put my own flowers in them because they just fit perfectly in there. So I thought I've basically filled every single pot I could find, except the ones that are falling over, obviously. And I've put as many boxes, buckets underneath the tables just to make it filled in a bit more. In the middle here is just a dumping ground for some fruit and veg. I've just put some various boxes here and there. There's nothing really else you need to do in here because it's mostly filled up with like the workstations and that. Like you've already got like a load of yeast lying everywhere. So I've just added bits and pieces to it. There's not really much to it. I've also dangled some far harbour stuff because why not? And I just love how these things spray out. Definitely an addition to the settlement. So yeah, before we go up to the highway, which is my favourite bit actually, I can't wait to show you that. Down here is just the workstation. So I just want to show you around the side very quickly. As you can see, I just love filling up the walls as well. We've got one turret this side. And I thought I'd put some stuff against the big column here, just a little sit down area. Back here is pretty much the same, just with another turret. And I put one of those Raider cloth shelters over the corner there because I thought it'd fit quite nicely. So yeah, now that I've showed you that area, let's jump up onto the highway. I want to know your guys' opinion on my stairs. Is it realistic? I know like the staircase doesn't have a lot of support, so the only thing I could think of was using the wires just to kind of hook it onto there. Personally, I think it looks quite realistic. It's right up tight against there. Yeah, man, it's a bit of a pain to decorate the actual highway. You have to kind of build stairs up, and on the other side, that's where the build limit ends. So you kind of have to really do it in a tight way. Up here, more of what's underneath, just a little workshop area, loads of tools, bits and pieces like that. So it's more of a chill out / work area, whereas underneath is purely just working. Didn't really know what to put underneath here, so I just put one of those big raider cages. And yeah, as we go up, loads of decorations. And I put this staircase, as you saw earlier, does help a lot just to get up there that bit better. And yeah, it's probably one of my favourite builds so far. Now you can't scrap this bus, so I've had to incorporate it with the rest of the settlement, but I wouldn't have scrapped it anyway. I'm glad I kept it. And I've even put decorations as far as up there. Just show you this side first. So we welcome people who just want to stay the night, so I've made like a little refuge area, a couple of mattresses, a sofa, and a bus is where you can rent out a room just for a few caps. So yeah, residents of Graygarden are allowed inside, but people just visiting, they're not allowed in there. They can just stay out here or in the bus. And I have made access to the top, and you'll find out at the end of the tour. I didn't want to build an actual building up there, so. Right, so let's have a look at the bus. So it's 5 caps per night, per person. And yeah, just put a few mattresses in there. Made it as untidy as possible because, yeah, nothing special as it's 5 caps a night. I even put a glitched chair onto the bus chair there. Unfortunately, you can't sit down on it because of the steering wheel. It just doesn't work, but I thought I'd add it anyway. Yeah, sweet little spot for some people visiting. And yeah, this is my favourite part of the settlement. So you got this little desk here just to chat to people if they want to join Graygarden to work and stay. And yeah, let's stop yabbling on. Let's have a look. Now, I spent quite a few hours in here. Because it's such a big room, I wanted to kind of be a bit creative and kind of fill as much as I could. So I've made these pods, and I've made them look like they're hanging from the metal above. Because I've managed to put the pillars inside the metal above, and they're like kind of dangling from it, as well as I've stabilised it underneath as well. It just helps it fill the space a bit more. And I put some lights along this rail, and we've got a power armor workbench down there. Little workstation, we've got a turret as well. So yes, look, you've got to have a work area in your living area as well, because work never stops in this place. I rarely put a Christmas tree, so I thought, why not? We'll just put it in there. Filled up this empty space with just boxes and that. And there's a load of kind of unscrappable kind of junk kind of sliding down from the concrete. So I've walled it off with all the barricades and made it into like a little garden, because I hate having like those unscrappable mounts of just dirt and debris. So yeah, I've turned it into like a cool little garden. As you can see, I've walled it off where it stops. It goes really well with the pods. This table is just a junk table. Always love having a junk table in the middle. I've made a little ramp going over just to get to the other side a bit better. I even like putting boxes underneath things which you can't access, just adds to it, you know. Another dirt patch that I've kind of covered up. I had to keep this area because it's part of the stairs. So mainly just a junk area for the first bit, but for the other side is more of a living area. So we've got a table, dining table in the middle, and I've made my own kind of makeshift kitchen. And I've done what I did with home plate, just covered up like the front of it, just to give it a counter look, you know. Excuse me. And yeah, nice little kitchen area. I've even put some crafting tables into it. Wasn't that hard to do, to be honest. And it goes really well with the kind of makeshift counters that I've made. I've managed to put one of those raider cloths on top here. It goes really well with it. Put some lights up, and it just, I don't know, adds to it. What else? Yep, some more boxes under the ramp there. Round here, I've got like a little toilet as well. Partly the reason why I put that raider cloth above, just for extra privacy. Not that anyone's going to look over, but I just thought it'd go well with it, you know. Little sofa, radio, and this is where the power goes for up here. Boxed it in like I did with the Overland Station build. And again, just spread out the power. Now there is stuff poking out from underneath, but it's not noticeable, so don't worry about that. It only pokes out only so much. And up here, of course, you'd guess it's just a couple of bedrooms. Can't really do a lot of these pods, so I've just put some shelves up. Bed, obviously. And at the other side, we have another bed. Well, it's 2 beds for this one. Thought I'd make use of the space as much as possible. Now, before we go up, I know a lot of you have been screaming for me to build at the castle or Spectacle Island, and I'm saving it. I just want to save it because I'm thinking of doing castle and Spectacle after I've done all the other settlements. Like, so just go out with a bang, you know, because I would have learnt so much doing all the other settlements, then the castle would just be so good. So I think I might leave that till last. I think after this build, I've just hit the halfway marker point, and yeah, I'm trying to get these videos out as much as possible as of when I get the time. But I reckon I'll have near enough all the Commonwealth built within the year, I reckon. Don't want to promise anything, but I reckon that will happen. So yeah, let's move on the upstairs and we'll finish up there. So of course I put a turret here because you can actually walk up from the bottom there, so I had to put a turret. A couple of bits and pieces next to the stairs. Little table. Now I didn't want to build up here. I just wanted to turn it into like a security post. So we got Mr. Ghoulman looking out onto the horizon. I filled this with just loads of pictures because I couldn't really figure. I was going to put loads of lights, but it looked a bit weird, so I just filled it up with pictures and glowed it up with one light. Really, you can't scrap this, but I don't think I would have scrapped it anyway. And yeah, just small little details. Probably not a good spot to put a mattress because it's wet now. This side, just a table with a chair. Look out this side as well. And yeah, I've blocked off this area. As I said earlier, it's broken over there, so it's not a security risk. There's actually a crashed vertibird as well with some power armor, which is pretty cool. And round here, I've blocked it off, just a couple more chairs, little workstation area. I put my own power armor as well. But yeah. Oh yeah, that's the pillar sticking out for one of the pods, but that's alright, it's not too bad. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this build. Probably one of my favourites actually. I'm not just saying that. I just love how you can build on the overpass, and the fact that you can use the pole glitch, the pillar glitch on here, just opens up so many opportunities. One of you commented I should make it like a shrine for my pillar at the end, when like my last build of the series. I probably will do that because it's helped so much. But yeah. Thank you very much for watching the tour. I'm now going to give you some night shots because it looks actually really cool at night. So yeah, check that out and I'll see you next time. Here it is at night time. I didn't really need to add a lot of lights because there were already loads here. With the car, it looks really cool with the entrance, and I just love how both the greenhouses glow and then it kind of glows up the communal area in the middle as well. There were a few broken lights on the inside, but it was an easy job. You just add another light onto it. I didn't want to light up the outside of the highway too much because it is a residential area, and of course that would be a security risk. But I put a couple of small lights here and there. But the inside is where the magic happens. Just look at that bus, and on the inside it just glows out really nicely. I've evened out the lights just so it kind of gives it a cool vibe, you know. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.